Hey guys, thanks for checking out the podcast. Before we get started, I want to remind you about the very cool bucket list trip I am doing in 2026, the Smitty Learns Irish podcast, where I'm going to do my bucket list, hike Ireland for a year, learn about Irish history, town by town, through the mouths of the pub owners and regulars. Because what's a better way to learn about something you love than to experience it yourself? Patreon.com/we3Smiths, only $3 a month, and thanks for checking it out. Oh my God, we're back. Oh my God, we're back.
Ma,
oh my God.
Get the camera! We're back!
Your neighbors might hate me.
We are back. We do have cameras. Holy cow. We were just talking before rolling. It's been about a year since we've done this podcast.
A year
Why?
too long. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why, Smitty?
Why? I can tell you why.
Oh, okay.
I can go into a long, drawn-out explanation of all of the reasons why I haven't been able to do this, but we're not going to do that. Just know that there was moving and fuckery. A lot of moving and a lot of fuckery.
That's right. We're in the new Smith hole.
Yeah. This is. What do you think of the play? What do you think of the new?
I've been
digs?
here.
I know you have, but it's looking good, right?
Yeah, it's
pretty
gorgeous,
happy with
dude.
it. Too bad December's not here. She had shitty roads.
Fiasco.
Shitty roads.
It's not my fault. It's not my fault. That's Tom's fault. It's never my fault.
Never your fault.
I take credit for the sunshine, not the below zero and snowy.
For those that don't know, I think we left off around season 2, episode 3. So we're
Something
just gonna
like
go with season 3. It's season 3 now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does that make the most sense? Season
Yes.
2 is a wash. We're gonna go back into season 3.
Oh man, this beer's so good. Spotted cow. I brought him spotted cow.
Oh my God, I loved Spotted Cow.
Every
time-
podcast.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, every podcast, we give each other an album to review something we haven't heard before, trying to turn somebody else onto it. Open rock and roll minds. That's where that phrase was coined.
Mm-hmm.
And then additionally, a little wrinkle we're adding to the Rock and Roll RoundTable podcast. We're all going to react to an album and then review it. So how do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about that little wrinkle?
I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
As long as we don't have to deal with Smitty's cult, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
we're good. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a good cult too. If we would have kept season 2 going, we would have delved down the whole Church of the Cosmic Skull repertoire.
No. You dive by yourself, bro.
No, I like it. I think it's great.
It's gonna be fun.
One thing I do. We gotta get an Ozzy album that maybe a lot of us haven't heard.
Well,
something.
he's got a new one, so I mean that's perfect.
Well, maybe we do that too because he's not touring anymore. Did you hear that?
Yeah, retired
Breaking
from
news.
touring.
He's
It's a
retired
real.
from touring.
You know, if there's anybody that's gonna go, if they're physically able, it's fucking Ozzy Osbourne.
yeah.
So it's just like, you know.
I mean, he might still do streaming touring, but we'll see how it goes. But that had me listen to Ozzy the other day, both Black Sabbath and Ozzy,
Really?
and it made me pick my favorite Black Sabbath album, which you did give me in season 2, or was it season 1? I can't
Your
remember.
favorite Black Sabbath album?
No, you gave me
That
your
turned in-
favorite, I believe. Which
No,
was-
I know it was my favorite, but you said you hated it even though you listened to it 5 times.
it was not
Which
my
was
taste.
sabotage, by the way.
But Black Sabbath, like to me, is Paranoid. Like Paranoid is my favorite Black Sabbath album,
I know.
and for good reason.
No, it's classic. I mean, to me, like Master of Reality would be greater, but I mean, we're splitting hairs
Yeah.
here.
So, what's your
Split
favorite
hairs.
Ozzy album, though?
Probably Diary of a Madman, I would say.
That's a good one. Yeah. Mine, just because of a lot of the songs on it, is No More Tears.
December, favorite Ozzy album.
I'm gonna say
Have you ever listened to an Ozzy
Diary
album?
of a Madman. Yeah, I like that one. I
Did
don't.
you just ask her if she's ever listened
Did you
to
ever
an
listen
Ozzy
to
album?
it?
I'm sure she
you're
has.
just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
yeah, I went to Ozfest.
You
Yeah.
probably went to the first
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
96.
Actually, yes,
Yeah.
it was the first
Or
one.
97?
My buddy's band, Fight, was playing there.
I was gonna be like, way to
And
date her.
SIL, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the thing is, they started that because he didn't want to do Lollapalooza. And Lollapalooza
Yeah.
was like the start of all the festivals.
Yeah, Ozfest. Yeah, you wanted a metal fest.
Yeah.
Yep.
And and
And it was
during the
good.
late 90s, early 2000s, Ozfest was ripping when I was coming into music. Oh,
Yeah.
They had Slipknot before Slipknot was Slipknot. Like, that was.
Yeah.
And Jack, his son, was like, hey, Dad, can you get these guys on tour?
Yeah. I was there in
And they took
2005.
off.
2005 saw Black Sabbath. It was the loudest fucking thing I've ever
no.
experienced in my life. Yeah,
That would be
it was fucking rad.
sick.
It was fucking
Is that a
rad.
DTE?
Yeah. No, it's called Pine Knob, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Right.
It is
Yeah,
Pine Knob.
right.
Hey,
It is back to Pine Knob now.
I gave December an album
Yeah.
called Biffy Clyro Opposites. People that are familiar with the channel know about me going down Biffy rabbit holes. We'll see what December thinks of it. Michael gave
Yes.
me the album.
Let It Enfold You.
Let
by
It Enfold
Senses-
You from
Senses Fail.
Senses Fail.
Yep.
We'll get to that in a moment. Surprise! I think you're going to be surprised by my review on that. Maybe, possibly.
I'm assuming you're going to hate it, but maybe that's what the surprise will be. Maybe you liked it. It's one of my favorite
There we
albums of
go.
all time. But December gave me
Yes.
Poor Man's Poison, Providence, which I was like, okay, I've never heard of anything of these guys. So perfect.
So, what are you thinking? What do you think?
My-
We'll start off with your review.
My review. All right. So yes,
I should say we will be reacting and reviewing to the debut
yeah.
album from Mr. Bungle, which I have heard before, but nobody's ever going to see that fucking reaction. We'll get into that.
because your files are deleted.
Dude, don't. Yeah, it's fucking.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
All right, so Poor Man's Poison, Providence. Right off the bat, my favorite song, I believe it was my favorite song, was Providence. But yeah, I really got into this right off the rip. I was like, ooh. Again, December.
What did it sound like?
It's really odd. It's like a mix between kind
you
of a
want to-
rock slash.
Remember the word odd when we get into the Mr. Bungle reaction.
Okay. It was kind of a mix between like southern rock slash kind of that bluegrass country slash, like, it's a very good mix. And I put this on here. My thoughts of this whole album was a mandolin can accomplish, because it literally carries a lot of the songs in a great way.
Okay.
The mandolin does get a little bit old for me though. But that's just because, I am not well versed in this type of music, put it that way. So like, as you get deeper in, it was like, okay, this is kind of getting repetitive, but I enjoyed the shit out of this album.
Okay.
Yay, I'm
So
excited.
the first song, which I was like this first song you lead the album off is just a ripper. But yeah, nice ditty right off the bat. Sweet, sweet Providence.
That's the highlight.
Yeah, that's the
I
highlight.
think let's wait for the highlight
Yeah, we
till
can
the end
wait.
of the review. We'll get to the low light in a moment, but
The change up at the end just had me just jamming. Like these guys were great at change ups, like from slow to fast to just picking it up. Like the change in tempos was fabulous. Number 2, Father's Laminate, good song. I put it at mid-tier song. It just kind of continued on its way, not bad at all. But it was just kind of mid-tier for me. Number 3, 20 Down, good old knee slapper I put down. Good old knee slapper. This is kind of where I got more of the bluegrass feel to it.
okay.
But not. And then I put on here, not his favorite fishing pole. And if you ever listen to the album, you'll know why. Like, he goes through like a whole list of things that were taken away from him. Correct? Is that I'm not wrong
Yes.
on that. Yes.
Yep.
But yeah, not my favorite fishing pole. Like, don't take his favorite fishing pole. Number 4, the Gallows. Amazing piano intro. Absolutely wonderful. This dude can sing. It was about the 3rd song that I was like, okay, he's got the range. He can sing. He can belt.
His voice is
He goes-
really, it's great. I love him.
He goes from like some of the best country sounding, but at the same time, he hits the notes of like, what's that band? Shinedown. The lead singer of Shinedown. He can sing like very, very well, but he has that rasp. He has that rock voice to him. And
I hate his voice like the fucking 10th level of the sun.
At least I didn't say like Chad Kroger from Nickelback.
See, I don't even think I don't hate his voice as much as I hate that fucking guy from Shinedown. Oh
What?
God, it makes me want to stick fucking forks in my eyes
Wow.
and my
He's like,
ears.
He's like critiqued as like one of the best
How
rock
do you
singers
really
out
feel
there.
about
Oh
it?
man, his cover of Skinner's "Simple Man" is like one of the
Oh.
worst things I could possibly imagine you
It's
making me listen
awful.
to. If you wanted to fucking torture me like fucking the CIA in Guantanamo, it would just be that fucking song over and over and over again. I would fucking tell you anything you want to know.
You know what the funny thing is? That was me and my mom's son mom dance at our wedding. At my wedding.
I mean, I'm not gonna judge
Such
anybody
a good
else.
song. I love Simple Man. All right, number 5.
Yes, I am.
But there was a lot of motion to the gallows. Number 4. It was a great song. Great tune. Number 5, Hey Mister. This was a great folk rock song. I thought it had a really good beat, really good groove. There was actually kind of like an intro of jazz into it. And like with the mandolin grooving, it was very like I was like, ooh, what is this? What did December just kind of like drop me into?
There's so many just cool. There's so many, and again, I can't wait to hear it because I haven't yet.
Yeah.
And but there's just so many cool nuances that you can throw together if you're doing bluegrass. If you have those mandolins and you have those other things, there's so many like layers and things you could do. You know,
exactly. And that's what I was like. Now I get why these guys stand out because you don't hear this very often. And the thing is, they do it really, really well.
How popular are they, December?
They're gaining steam. They have a bunch of new singles that they've just released. They've like bit by bit, and they're killing it. They're killing it.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going on tour with I believe it's like Whiskey Myers or something like that, but
Okay.
they're getting ready to go on tour and open a couple shows for people. And
Nice.
yeah,
I mean,
I'm
they,
excited.
they'll.
Really good.
The thing is, once they find that right show that they're opening for, I mean, they're not gonna have any issues down the road. Like this band, you could pair with like somebody like the Foo Fighters and have a great song, or
Okay.
you could pair them like how Zach Brown band and Foo Fighters did stuff, and it was like wow,
Yeah.
okay, like
Yeah.
these guys could easily be paired with the country of country or even just the rock of rock. Like they have such a middle road. They could choose any way, and it would sound great. And that's what I really loved about this album. Number 6, Black Sheep, great upbeat tune, a real toe tapper. I put it. Three quarters through the song, they changed it up again. And the change ups again, I love change ups. I love anything that will kind of test the tempo of a song, and again pulled it off gratefully. Wayfaring Stranger, number 7. Woe is him.
Was that the cover? Wayfaring Stranger?
Is it? I don't know. Is
I
that
mean,
a
it's
cover?
a fair. Have you watched "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou"? I think
Yes,
it's
I have.
I think it's in there, and then certainly in at least one other
Big
thing
Rock
I've
Candy
seen.
Mountain.
"Wayfaring Stranger," I think, is a really popular bluegrass song, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, is that a cover, December?
It is a cover.
Okay,
Yep.
I did not know that.
Like their
So
version,
yeah, I
yeah.
put "Woe is him" because that's obviously. But great storytelling. Again, I didn't know it was a cover, but I thought, wow, what a song, great storytelling. But now it makes more sense.
Now I have to see what movie or movies that is on.
I'm probably sure there's quite a bit.
Their newest song, "Feed the Machine," is.
I've heard that song.
Oh my gosh!
I actually
yeah.
heard that song on Mainstream. I
Yeah.
wonder if that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's really, really good. Really good.
Number 8 is called Pressure Cracks.
Oh, now I know.
What?
I've heard. I'm pretty sure Jack White did the cover of it on the movie Cold Mountain.
Oh,
If I'm thinking about that correctly, and it's a cover. Johnny Cash wrote it and did it originally.
really?
I feel
Yeah.
like I've seen. I can't remember if I've seen Cold Mountain or not. I probably have.
So-
Wait,
Civil
you're
War
telling
movie.
me Wayfaring Stranger was written by Johnny Cash?
Yeah, that's what it said.
Maybe that's why I liked it so much. I love Johnny. Johnny was like the punkest country you could get, man. He just did not care. I love Johnny. Pressure Cracks, nice little bop, very jazzy. Again, another little jazz potion there. Number 9, It's All Right, Shotgun Wedding Song, or it said Shotgun Wedding First Dance. This is what it came off to me as. This was probably more the down south country vibe that I got. More old country than most would say. This was actually my I said worst, but it shouldn't be called worst. It was just my least favorite of all the tunes.
The low light, yeah.
Yeah, the low light. Come on down. Again, you guys know me. I love me some good old hand
I thought
claps.
you said it's all right.
Or did I say it's all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, that's number 9.
That's the low
Yeah,
light.
that's the one I was talking about with the Shotgun Wedding First Dance.
All right, let's play that. Let's play a clip of It's All Right. I'm interested.
Interested.
Whoa.
What?
Did you echo me?
It's all right.
Did you say interested?
Interested.
Must have. I thought
Oh.
I said it, and then he said it in the song. I was like, what are the fucking odds of that?
Never again.
If he says it again.
In a world. So yeah, you can see why I said this would be like a Shotgun Wedding First Dance.
Kind of. I feel like a Shotgun Wedding would be a little quicker, a little more fast.
Not the first dance.
Well, maybe not the first dance.
You gotta express your love before you like bounce around, bro.
How the fuck do you think they?
See, at the end of the song is where they fire the shotgun, and then you're just like celebrating.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, it's great music. Like, it's so well done.
Yeah, it just sounds like good down home bluegrass, you know?
Yeah.
I tend to pray what I'm thinking.
But I mean, that voice is
I
powerful.
know. His voice is amazing.
Oh, I bet that doing Wayfaring Stranger was fucking rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So that
It's
was
nice.
my
I like
little,
that.
but I mean, it's not a terrible song. And again, I love albums like this where the worst is not like, I'm not saying it's worse. It's just the low light of the album, like you say. But it's a wonderful tune. Number 10, Come On Down. Again, yeah, like I said, hand claps. I'm a sucker for hand claps.
You really are, man.
I love
there's
it.
one
If you
nickname-
drop the music and you just give the drum beat with hand claps, oh, dude, I am all over it. I am here for it day and night.
If you had a nickname that I could give you for this
Claps?
podcast, it would be Michael Clap Those Hands Stevens.
As long as it's not the clap, Steven.
No. Michael the Clap Stevens.
Yeah, that's me. No,
There goes your show.
Yeah. Canceled. So yeah, Straight Hit It. Like, it is a great song. Great song. This was actually my second favorite on the album. Poor Man's Poison, number 11. Sit down and I'll tell you a story. That's just right what it was. It was great storytelling, but again, just right down the middle, mid-tier for me. And then the last song, number 12, Redemption. Again, another mid for me. This is where the mandolin and everything that kind of went with this album is kind of dragging on me. For me personally, I can only take so much down country south kind of sound. I mean, at the end of this album, I was like, cool. And then I listened to it a second time and it's better. I just can't sit there and listen to numbers of albums with down south country sound to it, unfortunately. But mid, kind of getting old, not a bad song, but beats and sounds are getting repetitive, in my opinion. Like the mandolin, like I said, they do magic with the mandolin in this album. Never have I ever heard a mandolin like carry a rock tune. And I was just like, wow, this is super cool. I've heard violins do it. I've heard, harmonicas do it. I've heard other instruments do it, but I've never heard a mandolin do it. And you'll hear that in Providence when we play it.
All right. Overall, what'd you think?
I give it 2 thumbs up. I
Cool.
love the album. I love I love these guys' vision. And again, there's a home for them in the big world of music with all this stuff. And like I said, I've never heard anything like it before. So I thank you, December. Wonderful album.
You're welcome.
Your rock and roll mind has been opened.
Blown.
All right, stay listen to Providence, the highlight. It almost sounds like Gogol Bordello. It almost sounds like that fucking gypsy punk you made me listen to that
exactly.
one time.
But what is like the old time theater or like the theater where they would dress up?
Vaudeville?
Yes,
Is it
vaudeville. This is exactly what I wanted to tweet.
Yeah.
I was sitting here and I actually wanted to tweet this album and be like, this reminds me of like old Panic at the Disco because they had that vaudeville vibe to it. That sound, that jazzy sound, 1930s kind of theater, like
Honestly,
vaudeville.
that's what that sounds like.
I love that.
The Gogol Bordello thing.
Mm-hmm.
because I haven't heard an accordion on this yet necessarily.
There isn't an accordion.
Okay, there's not an accordion, so that's probably going to save it. Because that's what you summed it up and said exactly what that Gogol Bordello album sounds like. It sounds like vaudeville.
Right, yeah.
It 100% sounds like vaudeville.
And this reminds me of like Green Day did this. Bands do that where they have that vaudeville jazz like kind of theater sound to it, and like Providence was number 1 in my book to that.
I like it.
But then you add that rock, that soul.
From ourselves, from hell and consequence.
See, like that mandolin. That's a mandolin, correct? It's not a uke.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I think so.
It is.
Yeah.
What's going on outside? The beating hearts of the depraved. We've turned
See, now
And I love those drum brushes.
it doesn't sound like vaudeville to me. That vibe.
Right. It's getting
when his vocals kicked in, it doesn't sound like vaudeville anymore. Now it just sounds more like I'm trying to like figure it out. in
right,
my
and that's
head,
why
like,
I
what
was
it
so
sounds like.
interested in this album, because there's so much opportunity with that. And that's what I love about it. They're not putting themselves in a corner.
Yeah.
No.
And those backup vocals, so smooth. And I don't know, I didn't look it up. I don't know who produced it or mixed it, but it is done so well. And there's something about quality. It makes an album so good.
Yeah, without overproducing it.
Right.
I think that's key. I feel like it's really hard to overproduce like bluegrass, though. It's almost inherent to keep it simple sounding,
Right.
but you can have good
Yeah.
production in that instance still.
Yeah.
It sounds like, honestly, it sounds like that new Dropkick Murphys.
It really does.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was trying to place it when it kicked in.
Yeah.
Have you listened to that
Yes,
new album?
I have. I've listened. Well, I
Yeah.
listened to that single off it.
This song that it reminds me of is "Still Got 99."
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
fucking song
Yes,
that reminds me
but
of.
but so many bands do this. I don't know where this originated. Maybe it's an old Irish thing. I don't know. But that dun dun, like that jazz beat to it. Like I know it's a jazz thing because Green
Yeah.
Day's done it too with "Hitchin' a Ride." The dun 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 dun. Like that. It doesn't matter what tempo you do it at, but it all stems from, I believe, an old jazz, like New Orleans swing jazz. There's just like 4 chords to it, and like there's something about it, and the way that you tune it. But it sounds
Yeah, it
amazing.
also reminds me of like a sea shanty type of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Little
like
bit,
that
yeah.
whole-
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I can see it right now, like like a Finnish Irish fishing town, and you see the
Yeah.
boats and everybody packing it up in this song. I can see it now. And then the change up at the end was like, oof. Where are the hand claps? I can hear them in the background.
Man, that's a fun like live tune. I bet that's
yeah.
a fucking fun ass live tune.
But I mean, if you listen to the layering, there's got to be 6, 7, 8 people out there. There is hand claps in there. I love tempo changes. There you go.
That was really goddamn fun.
Yeah, And that's
Yeah.
basically the entire album is. There's a lot of storytelling to it. A lot of that, as we said again, the bluegrass / I don't even know what you call that mandolin sound, but I mean it just sounds so good. Then you mix in his voice, which has that more rock soul feeling to it, and it was great.
It's like real gritty and like
Yes.
gravelly and
And I love that. I'm sure he probably smoked like a pack a day for a long time to get that gravel. But
There's a singer that he reminds me of that it's escaping. me
again,
right
that
now.
reminds me of Shinedown. That reminds me of the lead singer of Shinedown, like early albums.
Really?
Maybe not as gravelly. Like Shinedown,
Yeah.
he is very clean, but there's so many singers like when you hear
Maybe if the Shinedown singer didn't sing like a dickhead, it would probably sound more like that. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't help
Damn.
myself. I'm sorry.
that. Smitty's worst band of all time is Nickelback, but number 2 is Shinedown. We figured
It's
it
right.
out.
It's they're there.
They're
right
one
there.
album away
Panther
from bouncing
one he didn't
Nickelback.
like either. What's the Panther one?
Oh,
he
Steel
didn't like?
Panther. He doesn't like
There
Steel
you go.
Panther. But that's not because they can't sing. It's
Yeah,
because they're just
but I'm not
stupid.
forced to listen to them all the time if I like listen to the radio or some fucking shit.
They're not on the radio. They can't be
That's
on
what
the
I'm
radio.
All right. Next, I reviewed
Oh, senses fail.
the album that Michael gave me. I'm going to put this up right now because we're doing this real time. God damn it!
Oh, there it
Senses
is.
Fail.
Let It Enfold You. This album almost didn't happen.
What year did this album come out?
2005. So the story behind them is they're a bunch of ragtag boys from New Jersey. They got in the music scene in early 2000s, playing kind of this is emo, but it's more hardcore. But this album, they were on a drive-through a record label that basically they could not succeed at. They had one EP before this, and this is technically their first album,
Okay.
first full release, and it almost didn't happen. But since then, they're still making albums. They just released one this year, actually.
So this
really
is
good.
their first one?
This is technically their first full
Okay.
album, but they had a 7-song EP before this. That's how I found them.
Well, I'm glad they did it because I had fun with it.
Did you?
I
Okay.
actually really
Cool.
enjoyed it. It was one of those where I'm like, I couldn't find a fucking dud, man. Every
No,
fucking song.
every track is good. Yeah.
So we'll just go through my notes. For
Again,
Senses
I'm
Fail.
I'm hitting with the emo. I never thought Smitty would be one for
Well,
a sucker for emo.
There's. I don't think I'm ever going to gravitate necessarily
yeah, I
towards
get it.
emo vocals. There's times like in this album,
Yeah.
it's charming in the way that they're delivering
Okay.
them, in the way that they weave backup vocals and they do different things, almost like they do with they're doing different things vocally, like they're doing different things with the guitars, and it was really cool fucking shit.
Their drummer, mind you, when this album was made, was 16 years old.
Oh shit, because they're Thunder drums.
Yeah, dude, 16.
First song, Tire Down. It's fucking heavy. I liked it. It's like pop punk with layers.
Mm-hmm.
I like the opening riff in Lady in a Blue Dress. Those are the only notes I took, but I liked the song.
Yep.
It was at that point I'm like, all right, I'm going
Just
to put
like
headphones on for
Ladies
this so
in
I
the
can
Blue
hear
Dress.
the fucking
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Number 3, You're Cute When You Scream. Rhythm section was working. Chuggy breakdown with a cool guitar duo.
Mm-hmm.
Outro was rad. A real cool screamy out of that song.
Yep.
Yeah,
this was
track
kind of
4.
not to cut you off.
Yeah.
This was kind of like this started the screamo, if you will, screamo tag of music back in the early 2000s.
Really, this
They were
is
one
like,
of the very first bands that had like screamo.
okay, all right, because you could see. I mean, I could hear.
They're
I
not
always-
off the wall screamo, but you can hear that they lace it in there.
Right, you could hear that they laid that there could be one of the bands that like laid the template
Yes.
for how those
Yeah.
vocals should sound.
Yep.
Number 4, Buried Alive, or is it
Buried Alive.
Excuse me.
So that's I know what you probably say about this song. Just kind of give you history on it. They took the album to the record label and they said you need a single because they didn't think any of their songs were singles, and they made that song in 10 minutes.
Wow,
And
because
it's a poppy single.
10 minutes?
it was really good.
Yeah,
It
wow.
was a really nice acoustic intro.
Yep.
That was a cool choice.
It's a very Scooby-Doo story too. If you
Really?
listen to the lyrics, yeah, it's very very funny. But
The two guitars were doing totally different things. So this
Yes.
is the whole album is a great example of just like how you can effectively use two guitars.
Yes, and
You know
not
what I mean?
playing
Well,
the same thing.
Yeah,
They're playing
one's
completely different
chugging,
things,
one's
yeah.
doing something else, and they did it really, really effectively. There was a piano in there that was nice. The piano was actually doing like some accentuation hits with all of the other instruments towards the end, and I thought that was really fucking cool.
I'm jazzed on this. I didn't think you'd like it. I'm jazzed on this. All right,
You did it.
I did it.
This album also featured some. I fucking love when bands utilize an album flow.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean?
100%.
When you
Yes,
utilize
start to finish.
how do you gonna
Yes.
flow one song into the other? Does it make fucking sense?
Yep.
And they did that shit brilliantly.
Yes.
Like this song, number 5, which is "Bite to Break Skin," was
Yes.
almost my fucking highlight.
Great
Just
song.
the intro mixed with the outro was fucking cool. It was super hard intro.
Yep.
The shouts and the screams, it was like weren't long prolonged shouts and screams, but they were coming in
They weave
really
it in between
sparingly.
clean. Yeah.
Yeah, really intermittently, and then a great way to add impact rather than annoy.
Yeah, it's really funny how they did that because I agree. And that's one reason why I was so, as a 18, 19-year-old, when I heard this, like, it's in your face and then you have clean. In your face and then you have clean. And it's a very different way at the time to make a kind of like a verse in a song. Like you start off in your face and then you have clean. Then you start off in your face and then you have clean. And then you go into the bridge and chorus, which kind of mimic that same thing. But it was very different at the time. And that's what really drew me into it.
Track 6. And I made a note. Drums! Exclamation point, by the way, because they're just fucking great. I mean, they're crisp, but they're the
Danny's a hell of a
production
drummer,
on
yeah.
here was really fucking good too. Next, rum is for drinking, not
This was
for
a
burning.
huge single for them off this album. They actually did way better than the record label thought it would do.
It was a really cool. I wrote really cool, changey, chuggy things.
Yeah.
Some nice little changes, nice trippy outro. I really liked it. And now we're gonna get to my low light. I'll play a clip of it. But again, it was tough. I really battled between this and what ended up being my low light. I listened to them both again, just to kind of figure out which one I like least. The flow into this from the last song was fucking awesome, and I really enjoyed that. I'm like, it could be the low light. It's overall, it's fucking legit. Like it feels. There's a couple times where it was feeling boring, and then they would just do a little fill or a little change to catch your fucking attention again. You know. Number 8. Choke on this.
Choke on this.
I wrote breaking through my emo screamo barrier. They really did because it was just working.
Yeah.
It was just working. The way that they were trading vocals and where they were putting them and how they were placing them. Delicate guitar overlaying the really chunky and doing some real cool accentuations to it. Number 9. New Jersey falls into the Atlantic.
Poor New Jersey.
The vocal intro was really good. Into some crushing fucking drums. Really nice layered backup vocals in this that I really enjoyed. And these are just a couple notes on each song, but like
they're so deep, man.
Each song was like filled with cool fucking changes or just different fucking, like there was no one member of the band that was delivering anything blistering. There wasn't anything extraordinary by any one person necessarily, but how you put all that shit together.
Right.
Foo Fighters is a great example of this, where you probably have not generic, I want to say, but you don't have the most creative fucking riffs or anything. But how you layer those things together really fucking matters, man.
You don't have to sit there and make a whole album of just blistering like guitar solos.
Yeah.
Like if actually it was funny because the lead singer, Buddy, Nelson, just actually tweeted out the other day, I think it was 2 days ago, and he's like, what do you guys want? Do you guys want singles or do you want a well-crafted record? And I tweeted back at him, I said, listen, a well-crafted record means way more impact to me than a bopping single. Like, yeah, I'll listen to a bopping single, but all of my playlists are albums that have changed my life. A well-crafted album is like you from start to finish where you don't have skips means more to me than one single that you might listen to every on and off for the
It's
rest of
so
your life.
funny. It's like just different. This is a great example of like different musical tastes and
Right.
how different music fans listen to music. What
yeah.
they will sit through, what they won't. Because here's the thing, on YouTube you have the analytics,
Right.
So I see how long people are watching, and it's really fucking detailed. Most of the shit that I put out, it's fucking. They'll skip ahead to this. They'll skip ahead to this. There's there's a list of fucking videos that'll show you how many are have people listening the longest,
Right.
And like most of the shit just single songs, just like main Måneskin from Italy.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them are chopped up. There's not a lot of long extended periods of listening.
Right.
Opeth is a band that I've started fucking listening to and reacting to on the channel. These are 13-minute fucking songs, man.
Right.
The whole song is the listening. They want to fucking hear the whole shit. When you have those prog bands, dude, people listen to that shit all the way fucking through when you're doing like reaction videos. So it's just a great example of how people listen to music.
Correct.
The kind of bands that you're listening to is indicative of how you listen to music.
100%.
Fucking all goddamn yappy.
I mean, that's what this album does,
what
though.
we're here for.
And that's why that's why this album changed my life, because it put music in a different category for me. Even when I listened to their EP was so different. I was like, I've never heard music like this. And then when they released their album, we waited for this for 2 years, and they finally were allowed to release it because there was lawyers involved with their old label and their new label. They were on Victory with this album.
I forgot to play my low light, so I'm going to do that now.
Oh, yeah,
the
go for
low light, which is again slow dance.
That left to right, I love that.
Two guitars doing different things, man.
In two different ears.
Yeah. Just like that shit out of nowhere,
Yeah.
There's a lot of bands when you do it, you're like, it sounds fucking cheesy.
Yep.
If you can do it and pull it off and have it sound cheesy, that means a lot to me.
But yeah, you can hear the left guitar doing rhythm stuff, and this one's off doing different octave stuff.
It's a good mixing choice. All right, that was my low light. Again, it was hard to pick one. Track 10, Let It Enfold You, the title track.
Mm-hmm.
The song-to-song transitions. Also, this fucking riff, I go, come back to it, because it was the second riff of the song, the opening, after the opening riff. And it was fucking awesome. And they were doing it with both guitars. One was lower dynamic. And then they fucking, again, it happens a lot with music I like, where you have an awesome part and you don't come back to it. You're like, oh, man. It makes you want to listen to the fucking song. I had to listen to that song like 4 times just so I could hear that fucking riff again.
You keep
That's
going back to it.
The feedback breakdown was fucking rad. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Yep. Which you don't hear much anymore, man.
Not a lot.
No.
Not a lot. I think it was really well crafted fucking songs.
Yeah.
In this, 100%.
And mind you, all these kids, I mean, at the time, they were 16 to 21, 16 to 22 years old. So it's wild to think these kids are making this album with very low-level producers at the time. Who knows? I'm not sure who produced it, but yeah, it sounds great, man. But that's the thing, is they went from a very small punk rock label to Victory, which is now actually just sold. But Victory Records at the time was the big kind of emo pop punk rock label, so they had some money to put behind it. But yeah, it sounds great.
All right, track 11, Irony of Dying on Your Birthday, which is a great fucking title of a song. 100%. The opening riff with the second guitar doing a different variation of it, again, I kind of just echoing things that that
can
the
pull
shit,
you in. Yeah.
The chuggy screamy part was awesome. Now is my highlight. Well, actually, let's skip ahead to the last track, then we'll get to the highlight. Last track was almost the low light.
Oh.
That's what I wrote down. Only one so far that I drifted away, but then that end fucking guitar breakdown and outro, I was like, I can't make this my fucking low light because that end last 60 seconds of the song was so fucking awesome.
See, what did I tell you when we first started this? My one rule is I hate albums that just kind of like sail off into the sunset. Like I hate albums that end slow. Like I hate that one song that just like
And we've had that a couple times.
We've had it a couple times.
Long discussions about that.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what happened? Because this was going so well.
Right.
So well.
And that's
we
where
were doing
this
so well.
And the funny thing is, like this,
so well.
this is the album where I wrote that rule for myself because you are fading away, and then, bam, they hit you in the face. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. Like,
well,
I
that's
get
what
it.
it sounded like. It sounded like a dud closer.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
what
the
it
last
sounded
60
like.
seconds, it fucking was not a dud closer.
Yeah.
It was not that.
No.
And the name of that track was Martini Kiss, by the way.
Yep, Martini.
All right, last one. This is my highlight. Angela Baker and my obsession with fire.
That's a good tune, man.
All I wrote on this song is this song is just a great example of everything I loved about this album. Kind of just the changes,
Everything,
the layers, the fucking way they pulled it off. It's really clever, man.
Yeah,
It's
it
really
is.
fucking clever. So we're going to do that. That's my highlight. Angela Baker and my obsession with fire.
Those drums, you didn't hear.
So
things like
fun.
this. It's so good. Left ear.
Just that tick-a-tick-tack, you know?
Yep. And see, that's what I loved about this too. Is you had the left guitar, right guitar, bass was right in the middle. Yeah, there's that chugging, and then there's that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just like that change to that little chuggy thing.
Yep. This is probably, I don't know what this, like the whole, what would you call this? Pre-chorus? Interlude? This whole interlude right here.
Man, so many terms get lost on me sometimes.
Right.
I'm like, is that the breakdown and the interlude and the chorus and the verse?
I guess you could call it a break.
What's going
That's
on
not
around
really
here?
a breakdown. Breakdown to me nowadays is just like you drop the tempo, like what. But that's not this. But when he goes into the speaking part and it's just the drums and the chug guitars, like
Yeah.
this is probably one of my favorite parts of the entire album. So I'm glad you like this. Song.
Dude, I really enjoyed the shit out of this album. I'm not gonna lie. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go into it. I don't go into it.
No, you're honest.
Once I realize or think it's like screamo emo, I definitely get my guard up. It's taken a lot to get through that guard. I feel like I'm doing a lot better at opening that rock and roll mind up, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's just like quickly. it got past that barrier.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if
It's
you could
not your
pick-
traditional, just like Coheed and Cambria and My Chemical Romance. It's not your traditional whiny, I'm sad stuff.
Yeah.
They have stuff to it. They have what
Yeah.
do you call it? They have a foundation.
Quality.
To it. Yeah, quality to it.
Quality.
I stand outside my pretty house. I light a match to start the fire. I call the cops to let them know it's 22. Walter rehab. I thought I wanted this.
I love
That
this
symbol
fucking part.
on those
Man,
guitars. Yeah, that change up. Get you every time. Now you notice the left guitar is now doing the octaves while the right guitar is
They did
doing the
switch it
rhythm.
up, yeah.
Yeah. Those double bass, man. I'm a sucker for double bass too.
a lot of times I'm just like, as long as it's not all the way
Overdone?
through a
Right.
song, usually.
Yeah, those snares are just so crisp, though, man.
Dude, honestly, it's really stop. Really good production. The songwriting choices and where you're going to put stuff in the engine in the production engineering or whatever.
That's a huge thing for me.
yeah.
Like you can't just throw songs on an album and be like, this is gonna be a good album. Like you have to track correctly. Like you can't just say, oh, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. Like I love me a good start to finish, just flows perfect,
Yeah.
in and out. Like, and that's what I really find to be some of my favorite albums of all time is when you just
And I
have
like
9 to 12
I think
tracks.
it was our first season when you gave me Coheed and Cambria. How
Oh yes,
they have,
yeah.
it's like that story and that ebb and flow and
They just they
I
craft it's certain albums like that. And the thing is, it's not just my type of music or the music that I find. It's in every genre of music. If you can do it correctly, like it is just a game changer, man. And I
Yeah.
feel like there's, I watch YouTube videos where people are like, all right, let's go through some of my favorite albums, 10 out of 10 albums where I don't skip, love these albums, and they're all the same. They all have that quality to them. From start to finish, they're
Yeah.
just crafted perfectly.
Yeah, I mean it's important. That's why it's really hard for me to wrap my head around people that don't value albums. Why you got to do an album? Why can't it just be a single or some shit? I'm like,
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's okay to do.
Right.
But the album is like there's purpose to it. Like
Right,
there's a
yeah.
package in the way you want to deliver shit, man. This was a double album, I think, that I gave December. Was I right? I think this was a double album.
Oh my god, yes, it was so long.
Oh my god.
Wait,
Look,
hold
here's
on.
the thing, here's
So
the
what
thing,
is
before we-
what was your
before-
thing on my album?
Oh, that's a 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up? All right,
That's
cool.
A 2
Yeah,
thumbs up.
all
Yeah,
right.
100%. Now here's the thing.
Winning.
Biffy Clyro to me is a fucking band that I'm falling absolutely in love with. Almost every album I've done every album reaction so far, chronological order. I'm going to finish them all.
Okay.
I'm going to go down fucking live.
I've
album
never
rabbit
heard
holes
these guys.
from Scotland, and they're fucking huge.
Really?
They're
fuck-
huge in Scotland.
they're huge.
In the
Really?
UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you gave me the song that was the low light, I was like, motherfucker, because that's like one of my favorite Biffy Clyro
But
songs.
it wasn't like my actual low light. It was.
Is it similar to like trying to find one that's like you're like
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Good.
So like I'm listening to the album and it's going good. I like it. I'm going down and they get to my low light song and I'm all like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's just this.
Left field.
I'm like,
You don't like
did I
bagpipes and fucking rock and roll?
mess up? Or I mean, it was good, but it was just like, and I liked it. I guess it was my low light because I just felt, especially the intro to that song, did not fit what I was listening to. Like, I was really getting into it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, what the
It's a
fuck is
fucking
this?
banger live, by the
It
way.
is a banger, but it's not placed right.
Well, let's just get the low light out of the way since we're talking about it.
All right.
Okay.
You
let's
good with
do it.
that? Okay, let's play a
Yeah,
clip of the
I
low
am.
light, which is one of my
Yeah.
favorite goddamn Biffy Clyro songs,
It's
Sting
good.
and Bell.
It's good.
Stinging. Oh.
These guys will rock your fucking socks off, dude.
They're good.
100
They
fucking
are good.
percent.
Like, you look lost.
I'm wondering how this is your low light. Oh, wait, hold on.
It gets better. It's way better.
What? Right.
Just listen to the whole fucking thing.
This sounds like a pop punk band.
And like I said, it's not my low light because I didn't like this song. It's my low light because I was listening to the album start to finish, and
Right.
I'm all like, wait, what is this? Why is this
I
here?
understand. I can see that.
This sounds like something I would listen to like on the daily. This sounds like Blink 182 almost. Well, I mean, the chorus,
Honestly,
the
I gotta-
chorus is kind of getting.
I got to
losing
say
me,
this
but-
before you get into it. Honest, they are the most inventive, fucking musically talented of three
It
dudes.
sounds good.
There's
That's three dudes.
It's three dudes,
It's
dude.
only three dudes.
And they
That's
Ooh.
rock
fine.
so fucking hard, you won't even believe it.
Wow, that was.
There's
that-
so much
I'm
talent in
impressed
this
that that's
band.
three dudes.
Oh my god, I've just been waiting to like talk to other people about this band, like in person.
No, they're very good, and I did. I loved the album.
So you think
start
this
to
one was
finish.
placed like
It's
wrong?
the last
in
song on
order?
the album.
That's
Yeah,
a lot.
because-
That's the last song on the album.
Yeah.
They A+
No.
on don't break the rule of sending you out bad.
It's not, but it wasn't the last song on the album.
I think there was. I think it was, or maybe like on disc
No,
one. I
It's
can't
like
remember.
right dead in the middle because
Oh, really?
the one you gave me was the deluxe version, and it was right in the middle.
You're right.
Oh.
Oh, it opened up disc
Oh,
one.
it opened
Excuse me,
disc
I
two.
screwed that up. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
it is right in the middle.
Okay,
I, see
I
what
was
you're
like,
saying.
no, it just like
That's not a
threw me
bad
off
song,
'cause it
though.
was right in the middle.
I like that.
But I loved it. I thought it was great. I can, after I listened to it, I did some reading and I can understand why like the Foo Fighters picked them to open up for them at Wembley. Like, and why Dave Grohl is such a big fan of these guys. Cause like I said, there's only three people. That's it.
I discovered them because I was doing reactions to bands that were covering Metallica, and they were on the Black and Cover album doing.
Correct. I do
Holier Than
remember that
Thou.
now. I do remember that now.
But I said when I started reacting to them, they're like a prog punk band in a way that I've
Yeah.
never heard anybody before. I
Yes.
probably stand by that, but they are the ultimate mix for me personally of like Metallica with like the musical fucking ability and tenacity.
Like a jam bandy kind of.
But then, like the Foo Fighters punk rock anthems shit.
Well, that's like what I'm getting from that song that we just played. I have that rock like Metallica feel, but I have the sound like when he's singing and the verse of like Blink 182 mix that with like Foo Fighters. Like that does like it's a wrap
Yeah.
of like
It's
all of
very
rock.
eclectic. I really feel like they don't, and I do. I love them, but I feel like they don't fit into any particular
No.
They don't
like,
no.
at
segment
all.
or niche or I
Right.
mean they're just
That's
they're
what
great.
when I was first started reacting to them, that was like, by the way, the large portion of my patrons are Biffy Clyro fans. That's
Really?
like, it's like a Biffy community over there
Biffy
now.
community.
But like people would say, dude, it's just Biffy. You can't pigeonhole this band because they sound
No.
like so many different fucking. There's
No.
no way you could
I
label
was
this band.
listening to other stuff off of their other albums, and I'm like, you can't. It's the music ability is very cohesive, but per album, it's very diverse and varied on like stylistic wise. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, they're so good. But I loved them. But like I said, I listened to them on the Spotify, and that song was like right in the middle of my playlist of the play, and I'm like, it's great, but where did this come from? Like, it doesn't fit the flow that I was expecting.
Yeah, I get that.
From everything I was
So
listening to.
my question is, not to sidetrack you, December. That's the first song off the second disc. Was that left off the original album release?
No, this is a double album.
So it's just double album.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore. Double albums are like
Not very often. So this is what, 20? I think that's a 2011 album.
2013.
Oh,
2013.
2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like the death of double albums at that time. But yeah, you don't see double albums much anymore. That's a banging song to start off the second one, though. I will say that. Like if you, I can
Wait
see
until
if,
biblical.
like if you start
That's
like,
my-
so like
yeah.
imagine if you're like driving down the road, like obviously back in the day you had a disc thing. You throw in the second disc, like, and that's like you wouldn't even know if that's the same album.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
No.
yeah, you're right.
Like that's cool. I like that.
no. And like I said, it threw me. So it's not like I didn't like
Right,
it. I
right.
guess
I get you.
was not everything else. It was my, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Why is this here? I don't quite get it.
Did you have anything
no,
else stand out to you?
I liked biblical. Another thing that stood out to me was the second song, Black Chandelier, where they do that drip, drip,
Yeah.
drip in that song. I'm listening to it. I'm like, what does this sound like? And I went back to Kendrick Lamar's song Liquor.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, he talks like that. He's like, stand up, drank. You know, like the beat and how
yeah.
did it. It was like, I was like, that's where I heard that before. That's where I've heard that similarity before. But that song started and I'm like, Smitty, what the fuck is this? And then I was like, oh, I like it.
That kind of that slow
Perfect.
What did you
drip.
do to
Yeah.
me?
Perfect.
But it was good. I liked, my favorite was Biblical.
Okay.
I loved that was my highlight off of the whole thing. I liked Thaw. I liked the tempo of Thaw. I liked the vocals of that song as well. I'm not gonna go over all 20 songs.
Sure. Yeah, it's a lot of songs. It's a lot of songs.
We ain't got time for that. I did love how it ended though with Pocket, the acoustic
Yeah.
version of Pocket. That's
a road trip song like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's 100% a road trip song.
Yeah, I loved that. I loved it. But overall, I loved the album. And once again, I was blown away that it was 3 dudes.
Three
That's
dudes,
wild.
again,
Yeah.
who are huge over there. They're not just huge in Scotland. I think Europe as well. But like they've been
Yeah,
around
all
20
the
years. They got a
UK,
fucking
yeah.
documentary on Prime. Like
Really?
they're fucking. I think they're
So
on
they're like the
album
Blink
10,
182 of Europe, or like
except they're
Kinda.
way
or like Nirvana
better.
of Europe.
They're way better than Blink 182 or Nirvana will ever think about fucking being.
What?
They're a top 5 fucking band, dude.
So
for me,
I mean,
bet you.
I mean, you can't.
Huh?
I mean, Nirvana changed the way music was going.
Yeah, but you got to look at it from like a body of work rather than just.
Well, I mean, yeah, I
you
get
know,
it. Do we count Dave Grohl as like continuing the body of work?
I'm
no, he's not. No.
I mean, he's just continuing to do what he was doing. But no, I mean, I understand that. But the thing is, like those bands. I mean, to me, Blink 182 and like Nirvana, these 3-piece band, Alkaline Trio, even.
I love Nirvana.
Like right, but they're like worldwide, like game changers. Like, I've never even heard of these guys, but I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't make them good.
Well, December, you were telling me a great story before we recorded about when you were listening to this album at work today.
Oh yeah, I was listening to it at work today, and one of the guys came up to me. He's like, "I didn't know you're a Biffy Clyro fan," and I was like, "Well, I'm just dipping my toes into it." And he's all like, "No, you don't understand." He's like,
"Really?
Okay, right?" And he's like, "I first heard of them when I was watching the Foo Fighters Wembley concert, and they opened for him." And he's like, "Oh my gosh!" And
that Dave Grohl launch pad, man.
Yeah,
no, they're gonna they will rip your fucking face off. They
I gotta
so
get into
jammed.
it. All right.
Yeah.
You want to do the highlight?
Yes, let's do the highlight. Biblical.
Biffy fucking Clyro, which is the unofficial name. Of
Why is the name Biffy Clyro? Do we know that?
I don't know.
Is there a guy named Biff?
Bum, bum, bum. Let me look.
God, they sound so punk. They gotta have a fourth guy on stage with them when they play.
They do have a fourth guy on stage, yeah.
Okay. It's hard to believe these two guys are layering this shit though. It's so good.
Where you're not getting this right now in this song, but like Simon Neil is the principal songwriter, guitar player, singer. Ben and James Johnston are twin brothers. They look like my cousin fucking Sam. They look like I'm related to them. And when I have never heard a rhythm section thump like this fucking band. There's different. It's different from Black Sabbath thumping rhythm section. Right. I don't want to put them in the same category necessarily as like Black Sabbath.
You don't belong in the same category.
I've had a pretty large enough sampling size of this fucking band right now that I can say that with confidence that like they are as good. This band is fucking probably as good as anybody. But the way that these guys, like the chemistry, the way that they construct songs,
right.
When they're hitting, you know how when bands do that really accentuating riff where everything's in unison and it's just like boom, boom,
it just
boom.
takes you to a different
Dude,
spot.
it's fucking thunder when these guys do it. I'm pretty sure we're going to get one of that coming up on the song probably at some point.
No, I 100% agree with December. Like I hear why Dave Grohl said, yeah, these guys need to open. Absolutely. It's hard to believe these guys are Scottish. Just doesn't, you can't hear it.
You can every once in a while.
Can you?
Yeah.
God, that keyboard, that organ in the background is so good. The MIDI, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I mean, everything about these guys scream like a mixture between like Blink and Foo.
Yeah, I like the songs that like has like this haunting like undertone to it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what it is, but it's like I don't know.
Well, it's definitely a violin because I know Simon Neil plays violin, and he always tries to incorporate violin on at least like one song in some way, shape, or form. But like they have like
the layers to this song
Yeah.
is an onion. Like there's layers that you can't necessarily hear right now that are playing such a key part into what they're doing right now that it just works so fantastic.
If you wanna, if you guys don't mind a bonus song from Biffy when we're done here, I'll play the song that blew my fucking mind, and 100% I'm just like I'm into this band for the rest of my fucking life.
I'm down for it. I'm
right.
totally down for that.
Let's do it.
Always a sucker for room chorus.
Yeah.
Or what they call it, gang vocals. Gang vocals. I'm a sucker for gang vocals.
So expansive.
Yeah.
It just sounds big and expansive. And then it just shrinks back down to just that nice.
Take any fresh steps or watch it all fall apart again.
He's one of the most brilliant fucking lyricists for songwriters.
I mean, literally,
I'm
it's
fucking serious.
It's a punk band that knows how to play and sing. Like, I mean, that's literally what it is.
And I'm a sucker for good lyrics and good vocals. Like, if you want to hook me, that's how you do it. That's how you get me right in the feels. And I'm like, oh, yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like your low light too.
Yeah.
So
I
I mean,
it was the only reason it was my low light. I was like, what the fuck is this? And why is it
Why are you here?
What are you doing?
Why
you need
are
to be
you
on another album somewhere else.
so overall, you think that was a 2 thumbs up success, huh?
Absolutely. I added them to
Abso-fucking-lutely.
my work playlist. So yes.
All right. I'm going to play you one more song from Biffy Clyro
right.
because it's worth
Encore.
noting. It's an encore 100% because it's worth noting how much these fucking guys jam. It's called That Golden Rule. It is from
It's even downloaded.
Is it Revelations? It is downloaded. Didn't it sound like 3 different playlists? Let me see. What is it? Revelations? Only Revolutions, excuse me, from 2009. And
2009?
let's just fucking listen to this shit, because... it's so fucking dirty.
Yeah, it's so good. Gang vocals, dude. They're straight punk, man.
Wait for this fucking breakdown.
Wow. So dynamic. Yeah, I don't even know how to... Here we go.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh. Oh,
Yep.
layer that with those midis.
Yeah.
Oh my god! You can hear every chord rip off of that. Then they got the old bottleneck slide
It's
going
a
on.
fucking slide.
Dude, that's sick. Yeah, there's a violin. Holy crap. That is probably the most dynamic three-man I have ever heard in my life.
Amazing. Amazing what they can do.
Now I understand why you're Nirvana comedy. Like, I get it now.
Oh, dude, it's not even like.
Like, and I haven't even listened to an album. That's the Metallica version there. That end was the Metallica.
Again, I love Nirvana, and I know their influence, and I
But yeah,
I'll agree with the influence of like Nirvana or something. But I'm just like, from a talent standpoint, from a body of work, from
Yeah.
shit I've heard so far, from seeing them fucking live, a live band really matters to me, and Nirvana
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
fucking sucked live.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, I mean, but at the same time, it gets to the point where like you're playing the same shit over and over and over. At like, I mean, they were literally playing. They had like Kurt even forgot the lyrics to "Smells Like Teen Spirit" because they were playing
Probably.
it so goddamn much, and he hated the song. Like, I get that, but yeah, a three-man has to work correctly in order to make a show click, right? Like Blink-182's whole thing is like a whole comedic thing, and that's why it works. Like, don't get me wrong, they can play music and it's okay, but like these guys, I'm sure actually know how to play their shit.
All right, guys, let's give each other homework assignments for next podcast,
Yes.
episode
All right.
2 for season 3, and let's give each other some homework assignments.
I got December.
Yeah.
I commented on what you gave me as kind of reminded me of this album a lot because of the vaudeville factor to it. So I am going to
Okay.
give you kind of my intro to what was kind of the vaudeville sound. And they toured this. They actually just broke up. He brought an end to it last week, I believe. Panic at the Disco,
Okay.
their first album. This
Okay.
was an album that came out of nowhere and blew up huge. So you may know some of the songs from the radio, but it is called "Panic at the Disco: A Fever You Can't Sweat Out."
All right.
It's a pop
Perfect.
punk emo / vaudeville album, and it's huge. That's what they're known for until recently, and he hates playing the songs because it was a band, and then they went the Beatles route for their second album, and everyone hated him after that. And then he
Wow.
carried it himself. There was one dude that carried it himself for all this time. So that's what I'm giving you.
All right. Smitty,
Yeah.
I am giving you Wanton Bishops.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me write this down.
They
The band?
are,
Is it a band?
It's a band. They're called Wanton Bishops.
Wonton Bishops?
Yep. Wonton Bishops. Just like wonton soup.
And their album is Sleep with the Lights On.
Ooh.
They're
Scary.
a blues band out of Lebanon. The
Whoa.
middle.
Really?
Man, you're
Yeah.
so worldly music wise.
I was like, yep,
The first
that's
album you gave me were those guys that had that like
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Loved them.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm going down world music rabbit holes right now,
Yeah,
man.
there you go.
I'm actually going to check out an Indian movie for the movie reactions.
Really?
Is it a Bollywood one?
It is a Bollywood one, I
Where they
think.
do the dancing and
No,
all
but it's about like it's a 3-hour movie. It's like this epic adventure with like tigers and shit. I don't know.
Oh,
It's called The
Nice.
Jungle Book.
It's not the Jungle Book. There's more.
Sorry.
It's not the Jungle Book. I think it's called RRR. Well, I don't know what the fuck that means, but that's what it's called.
It's
gonna
about
find out.
tigers.
The That's actually probably the name. All right,
Give it me.
Michael.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the album from 2005
Ooh.
from Gojira.
I was 20.
From Mars to Sirius.
Gojira.
From Mars to Sirius. They are a band that I've been really getting into, and I've listened to that album, and I think
I've
you
listened
shall
to some
enjoy
of
it.
them. I don't think I've listened to that album though. From Mars to
Have you heard
Sirius.
Gojira before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love Gojira. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, they came out early 2000s. I feel like they made their debut on something we were talking about before, Ozfest. I believe they were on Ozfest.
And I think we're talking about what we want to do for another album reaction next weekend. We're talking about doing Ozzy.
Oh yeah.
Do we want to all do that? Do we want to do an Ozzy?
Oh, that's right.
New
He
Ozzy
did.
album reaction.
Yeah, he came out with an album last year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, but I think he just dropped another one.
Oh, did he?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I think I heard the single off it, but I haven't heard the album. So yeah, I'm done with that.
Pretty sure.
Okay.
I think so.
Because I believe he brought Zach Wilde back for it.
Or
maybe that was the last album.
He did an album. I think Andrew Watt was the producer
Okay.
that he did the album, both last two albums with, and he was the producer that did that worked with Post Malone, kind of hooked up
Right, but I
Post
thought
Malone
he
with
brought
Ozzy.
Zach Wilde
Oh,
back
yeah.
for guitar.
I don't know. He could have been. I'm not
Maybe.
sure.
I
Yeah.
could be wrong on that.
Yeah.
But-
So anyway, that's coming up for
Sweet.
episode 2, season 3 of the Rock and Roll Roundtable album review podcast.
Baby, we're back.
Did we open any rock and roll minds today?
Oh yeah. I'm
Yes,
sure we did.
absolutely.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
Same here. I appreciate you guys.
No, appreciate all of you.
Until next time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
See you later.
May your
Bye.
glasses be
We
full.
smell you later.
I smell.
What the hell? Everything.